On today's episode, I'm interviewing attorney Sam Mollaei, founder of Mollaei Law. Sam is the #1 highest rated business lawyer for entrepreneurs. Since he started his law firm, he's helped thousands of entrepreneurs start and grow their businesses with peace of mind. And now, here's the interview. Hi, Sam. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Leila. Thank you so much for having me.
Sure. Why don't you tell me and tell the audience a little bit more about yourself and what you're up to?
Sure. Pretty much been a lawyer for about 3 to 4 years now. Went on my own 1 year after passing the bar. I went through law school, didn't know what I wanted to do. And I came out of law school. I started working for a family who was a lawyer. He was basically, I was doing a litigation. And every day I would come into work, pretty much doing the same thing day in, day out. It didn't take me long for me to realize that I didn't want to necessarily do litigation at all. It was very black and white. It wasn't something that I expected at all. And I would say I was actually pretty depressed. I would come to work at 9:05. I was already looking at the time for me to leave. So I had to find a way to leave. So I started learning. I started talking to people. I started soul searching. And it took me a couple of months, but I think my breakthrough for me, for my next transition, was talking to one of my law school friends who was 1 year older than me. He also graduated 1 year earlier, and he ended up going on his own, starting his own law firm. And I met with him and just talked to him, see how things are going. And he told me that while it was the first couple of months were hard, it was possible. And he was the fact that it was possible for him to go on his own was enough for me to, was kind of like my breakthrough to just realize that it is possible. So as soon as he told me that, I realized that if he can do it, I could do it. So the very next day, I basically started learning more, started learning about how to start a law firm, and specifically how to start a virtual law firm. Ever since I was young, I was always good with online stuff, social media. So I started learning about building websites, writing blogs, and I launched my website. And in the first year, as you can imagine, you don't get that many clients because how would they find you? So I learned about blogging, writing articles, and I just for pretty much my 90% of my time, my first year, I was just doing marketing. That was writing blogs, learning, just doing a lot of that. And the more I learned, the more I got exposed to different things. I started off very general. I started my niche very general. I started as a business and entertainment lawyer. And as time went on, I realized that I have to niche down. So I kind of dropped entertainment law, focused on business. And I also realized in business, obviously, there's a lot of different services you could offer. But as I was servicing my clients, I realized certain niches in business that my clients needed. So I started focusing my content and things I was doing towards those niches. And after a year, all the marketing that I was doing for the first year kicked in. It got to a point, this is 2 years ago, where I was getting too many phone calls. It sounds ridiculous going from no phone calls to too many phone calls. I actually ended up taking my phone number off my website. And now I'm at a point where I'm getting too many emails. I can't even keep up to my emails. I literally I wake up in the morning, and even if I stayed up the night before until 9 o'clock at night, by the time I wake up in the morning, I'm flooded with emails. These are pretty much potential clients. These are people who need certain service from me. So I'm at a point where I have too many emails, too many phone calls, and I've also learned throughout this time how to streamline this entire process. And I learned about sales funnels, which I'm sure we'll get to soon.
I would love to talk about that.
Yeah. So the one thing in marketing that every marketer is implementing right now is these things called sales funnels. There's different names, but the gist of it is that sales funnels are a system for potential clients. Once they enter your funnel, imagine there's like pretty much like a pyramid funnel. Once they enter your funnel up here, you want them to lead down and do whatever you want them to do, which is most of the time it's to buy your service or buy your product. So through a system, you build a system where once they enter your system, they're held in this funnel, and you're trying to convince them and show them why they should buy your service or your product. This funnel, there's 4 essential parts. The first part is getting traffic, getting visitors to enter your funnel. It's done through a couple of different ways. It could be done through Facebook ads. It could be done through Facebook. It could be done through Google AdWords. It could be done through content marketing and pretty much producing blog articles. There's a lot of different ways. But once you get the traffic, how do you convert? How do you convince those people to buy your service? And that's where the funnel comes in. So the second part of the funnel is a landing page. A landing page is pretty much a page where it only has one job, and the job is for you to collect their contact information. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's usually the first part of you. Once you get the visitors, you want to grab their contact information. If you don't, so why is that important? So if you don't, they're going to be lost forever. As soon as you collect their contact information, you have the contact information to follow up with them. So again, the second part, landing pages to collect the contact information.
So are they now in the funnel? Are they now in the funnel? Okay.
Exactly. Once they've submitted the contact information, they've officially entered your funnel.
Okay.
So once they're in your funnel, what you want to do is you want to have an email series. An email series is pretty much an automated way for you to send emails to your potential clients, so that you're providing value, you're providing trust, authority, all these things that basically build a relationship with your potential clients for them to buy your service. Usually these emails are very tricky. It's something where you start off doing it and you kind of come off as tacky, a little aggressive. You kind of have to, there's an art to it. But the biggest gist is you want to provide value upfront first before anything else. Nobody's going to go from not knowing about you to buying your service or product from you. It just doesn't work like that. Just think about the last time you spent money. What was the last time, you just went from not knowing anybody to buying a service? So it's up to you to provide that value and trust and authority in your emails. Mm-hmm. So in the first week or two, you want to provide value, whatever that value is, whatever service you're offering or whatever product you're offering. You want to explain and educate your potential clients about that service or product. Mm-hmm. And then after that, then you could go into pitching them and telling them about your service. That's the biggest important thing about email series. And then the email series usually leads up to a sales page. A sales page is pretty much a very long, thorough, comprehensive page. Usually on this sales page, you want to have a very comprehensive video. This video pretty much is going to talk about their problems. It's going to offer solutions. And the other big thing is you want to answer their objections. And then also on this page, you want to, it's pretty much like a sales letter. So what does it take for you to convince somebody to buy their service? Mm-hmm. The big thing is you want to resolve their objections. That's usually the biggest thing. And then once you have the sales page, you want to direct them to go to an order form, which is a separate page. And once they're ready, they could pretty much go on the order form and order your service. Mm-hmm. And that's the third part. Pretty much the sales page and the order form and the email series is pretty much the meat of it. And then the last part, which is very important, which a lot of people don't do, is retargeting. Retargeting is pretty much anybody that your potential clients, let's just say if you get traffic from anywhere, anybody that lands on your landing page and sees your landing page and doesn't either submit their contact information or doesn't sign up for your service, you could retarget them on Facebook. You could even retarget them on AdWords. It's a thing called RSLA. It's a little technical, but the big one, the most famous one is Facebook ads. And on Facebook, what really converts is videos. Videos convert it's the best way to convert anybody. And what you do is you set up a retargeting campaign on Facebook for people who have visited your landing page who haven't become your clients yet. And the point of the video on the Facebook is pretty much, you're going to, again, this same kind of idea. You're going to present the problem, present the solution, resolve their objections, and and then there'll be a link to go back to the sales page or the order form for them to buy your service. And that's pretty much like a 5-minute summary of exactly what a funnel is. It's super, super powerful. All the marketers right now are implementing the system. They're making millions of dollars from it. And if you can just take this concept and apply it for your own business or your own service, there's no way that you wouldn't easily make $1 million. I mean, the goal is $1 million, but it's something, I guess, to give you motivation. Right. For you to do really well in your business.
Mm-hmm. So that you're saying that this applies to any industry, whether you're a professional, like you have a law firm, or you're a coach, consultant, artist, anything that you are selling, this method, this system can help you quadruple potentially your income. More
than quadruple, actually. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely for every kind of business, product, or service. That's for sure. It's just up to you to figure out exactly how to set up the system. The 4 system that I just told you, that's like the skeleton. That's like the essential elements. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's pretty much a variety of these different things for you, and it works for any kind of product or service.
So this is it's very technical. The things that you mentioned sound very easy, obviously, but you have to kind of either hire an expert to do this, or can you do it yourself? What is it? Like, let's say I want to do this and I've never done funnels before. I'm a lawyer. I want to start a law firm and I want to use this method to attract clients. How would is this something that you do, or is it do you build these funnels for lawyers, or do you help them, or what is it exactly that they can ask you for help, ask you for, basically?
Yeah. So it really depends on the person themselves. If you're more of an entrepreneur, you're creative, you're kind of like a go-getter where you kind of want to take control, do it yourself. I would recommend learning about it, at least learning about it and understanding it.
The essentials, right?
Just the essentials.
Right, yeah.
I wouldn't get into the technical aspects. Technical, it takes, you should stick to where you're good at. If you try to get into the technical aspects, then you have to kind of drop your day job and dedicate a lot of time to learning it. And it's going to take a long time. I wouldn't persuade you against it. If you want to learn about it, I think you should. There's a lot of resources about this. The biggest source of all this is a person named, his name is, I forgot his name, something Brunson.
Richard Brunson? Yeah.
Not Richard Brunson. But if you just,
yeah, I know what you're saying. I know who you're talking about.
I have his book actually.
Expert Secrets, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It's basically, if you look up ClickFunnels, if you just go on YouTube and just put ClickFunnels, he's the guy. He pretty much teaches funnels. You could either learn on your own. I do build these for myself. I do have other clients that I do build it for. If it's something that you're actually intrigued about, you just have to contact me. I would just tell you what you need to do first. Either you learn it by yourself or you get somebody to do it for you. Definitely, I would stay away from doing it in any of the technical stuff.
Mm-hmm. So because retargeting, is that something that is built into Facebook? See, I don't even know what that is, or how to go about doing that. So these are some of the technical stuff you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Each of those systems, it's its own kind of chapter. They're all different things. They do get technical. But as long as what I just explained, the 4 parts, as long as you understand that system and have somebody set it up for you, I think that's the most ideal.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you more about your law firm. How did you decide to go so specific with your niche? Because I know a lot of people have problem with deciding which audience to target when they're, especially in their marketing effort or basically providing a service. People don't want to basically miss any audiences or miss anyone who would be potentially interested in their services. But then how do you decide to narrow down? Is it just through practice, or what is it required to do that?
So it's a requirement. It's just the nature of online businesses. there's so much competition, that if you don't stand for something, if you're not focusing on a niche, it's you're gonna have a very hard time selling something. So once somebody lands on your website or learns about you, you want them to know right away within 2 seconds of that this is exactly the service you're offering, and you just want to be very specific. I realized this when I basically looked back. Let's just say I was working for a year, and I looked back at my list of my clients and what services that I offered, and none of those services were for being a business lawyer, right? If you actually think about it, like the service I actually offered, it wasn't because I was a business lawyer, it's because I happened to do the specific service that they needed. So when I create my content, it's not necessarily about being a business lawyer. I don't write any content about being a business lawyer. I create content on those specific needs and problems of those people. So it's more about what those needs and specific needs are more than what you are yourself. So if you're going to do marketing, don't base it on your estate lawyer. But it's not about, nobody looks up at what a estate lawyer is. But once they have specific problems and issues, what are the specific problems and issues that they have, and then go write topics, produce content on those exact topics.
Oh, I love that. So basically taking the problem, taking the issue and reverse engineering it, and then marketing your content that way. Sort of like the thing that you were saying, providing the value, and that's where the value comes from, basically resolving their issue and whatever the problem is.
Right. And you want to pay very close attention to what your potential clients, when they call you and what they ask for you, what words they're using, what they're saying. That's invaluable information for you. And you want to take exactly those words and put it into Google and see what comes up. You'll see that like nobody's going to look for business lawyer. They're going to look for, let's just say, how do I get my contract reviewed? That's a niche. Nobody's going to look up business lawyer. And even if you were, they will find you as a business lawyer. I'm one of the other 100 business lawyers. So it's really not going to convert. It's never going to sell my service if I'm just one of the other business lawyers. But if I happen to be the only one that does exactly this service for contracts, then, I have an easier time converting and turning those people into clients.
So if you don't have that many clients to get this information or to get these problems from directly, where are some places that you can actually go to extract what people are actually looking for?
There's a direct answer for this. It's pretty much keyword research. If you're operating any kind of online business, or even if you're operating an offline business, a lot of your business comes from what people are searching for. So there are tools for doing this research. The free tool that you can use is Google's Keyword Planner. Just Google that, figure out a way to pretty much start using that tool and just learn how to use it. That's very strong. A little bit more of an expert level is SEMrush. Pretty much you put in your keywords and it tells you exactly what are those variations of those keywords. And it also gives you what's the competition level of those keywords. If you just focus and learn how to do a keyword research, that's how you find those specific niches that people need.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So is that something that you recommend for people who, let's say law students who want to go solo and who want to start their own practice, learning about the online world, online marketing and all the technical stuff, at least just a understanding of the technical stuff? Is this where you recommend people to start who are starting a law firm, or what do you recommend?
Yeah, I think the first level of getting become successful online is the education. You have to get educated first. There's so many sources that I use. The one that happens to be the most valuable for me is YouTube. There's so much free content right now. And not just that, don't forget you could speed up your YouTube videos. So right now I'm at a point where I'm watching YouTube videos at like 2 times the speed, and I'm constantly taking as much information as I can. So yeah, I would say get educated. Books that's the first way. Second is YouTube. Third, if you want to spend some money, I would also find very specific courses. And I'm very comfortable with spending money for courses because they're very valuable. There's a reason why people charge for courses. if that was the case, they would just put whatever information that they have on YouTube, but they don't. So there has to be some amazing value to online courses.
Absolutely.
So don't be afraid to spend money, invest in yourself, and get educated. It's in the beginning, you're pretty much, I know what it feels like because I went through the process. Like I know exactly how new law, either law students who just graduated, passed the bar, or even before they passed the bar, how they're feeling. Like I'm sure both me and you, Layla, we know the feeling. In the beginning, it's a very vague. You don't know what you're doing. You're confused. People are telling you different advice. One person tells you one thing, and the other person tells you one thing. I think it starts with you, and just sitting behind a computer and just researching, learning. And slowly, I could give you hope that the more and more you do this, it takes usually about 6 to 12 months. But I would say the 1 year, 1 year is the minimum. Once 1 year hits, you'll start seeing things start moving around. It's like life is like a jigsaw puzzle, and things will fall into place. So don't worry about being lost. Just focus in, what do I have to do today? How much do I have to learn? What's my focus? And I promise you, if you stick to that, after 12 months, you're going to start seeing niches or certain needs open up for you.
I love that. That's great advice, because that's actually something that I did when I took the bar exam and I was waiting for my results, that gap, that period. I looked online, I searched for free courses, but I also paid for courses that I thought were very valuable. And to this day, I find them useful. And I go back to some of these courses, and it's not like you can learn everything in a day. You gotta put in the time, and I'm still learning and I'm still growing. And but it's fascinating stuff. And I think everyone should definitely learn it, because it's the future. Definitely.
Yeah, agree.
So you talked about the bar exam, and I have to ask you some questions about that. So
Sure.
I just want you to give some mindset tips for law students who are studying for either finals or the bar exam, and specifically the bar exam, because the bar exam is a beast. So if you can give some advice, I would really appreciate it.
Sure. Well, first of all, before that, let me just say Layla, I think, is doing an exceptional job with what she teaches and what she preaches.
Thank
I
you.
think mindset is very, very, very important for the bar exam. As important as the actual 3 months of studying. I always thought about a bar exam as in 50% preparation, 50% performance. And that performance comes from 100% mental toughness, mental clarity, and all those things that matter for you to pass. So I think it's very, very crucial. That's for sure. I could give you a very valuable advice that helped me pass specifically. I had one of my mentors a month before the exam telling me that, listen, everybody studies for 3 months. Everybody pretty much more or less knows about the same amount of information. But the bar exam it's going to test your mental toughness, and it's going to throw you off. And that's what it's actually exactly designed for, to throw you off. Because guess what? When you become a lawyer, there's going to be a lot of those situations where, you're going to be stuck in a courtroom. You have nothing. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to say, but you have to perform. So guess what? The bar exam is exactly that. How do you perform when you don't know what to write, don't know what to say, So he told me that this is going to happen. There's going to be at least one part of the bar exam, if not one, definitely more. There's going to be at least one part where they're going to throw you off, where you're going to be completely blank out. You don't know what to say. You're not going to know what to do. But here's the important part, and I'm going to come into the microphone to say it really loud, or maybe not loud. Here it is. Ready?
Yes.
Keep typing. So he told me those 2 words, and it pretty much got engraved in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through those 3 days. I know right now it's 2 days of our exam, but when we took it, it was 3 days. So I went through the first 5 sections. Everything was very smoothly. Last section, at the performance exam section, and I'm 1 hour into my last section. And as I'm typing, I flip over a page and I realize that I missed the entire outline. Basically, my structure was completely off.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh no, what did I do? And pretty much everything that I've typed out for the past hour was completely not right at all. Like the structure was off. So I freaked out. I freaked out. I
As
started.
with anyone, right?
Yes, anyone. But I feel like I'm mentally tough, but I was shaking. I was shaking. So okay, I was like shaking. I'm like, what should I do? I was kind of stuck. I couldn't type. I literally just could not type. My fingers wouldn't move. So after like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm like, what should I do? So I got up, took a break, came back, and I still couldn't type. So I got up again, sipped some water, came back. And for some reason, my mentor's voice came in my head. He's like, keep typing.
I love it.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep typing. So I literally took whatever I could see, whatever I knew, I just started typing. Honestly, I could say, I don't know what I was typing in the last 2 hours. But I just kept typing.
But you kept typing.
But I kept typing, and I came out and I was so mind effed. I don't know how I felt. And I talked to my mentor and he's like, but did you keep typing? I'm like, yes. Like, okay. Then he's like, you're good. I'm like, no, what are you talking about? I didn't write anything. Like, I don't know what I was writing. He's like, no, it doesn't matter. Like, you're good. So anyways, got my exam, ended up passing. And honestly, I think I attribute it to that. If I would have got stuck and if I would have listened to myself and if I would have not, if I would have not kept typing and I would have not stayed focused to complete the task, then I would have not passed. So that's the biggest thing is you got to stay mentally tough. Know that there is going to be a part where you're going to mess up on, and that's okay. But as long as you keep going, as long as you keep typing and don't listen to the voice in your head and just keep doing.
I love that.
I think a lot of things that you teach are pretty much just setting you up for that. So I think it's a lot of value that you're providing to them, because that's going to get them mentally ready when it's a day of, they have such an advantage to be mentally tough to get through those parts.
Absolutely.
And I think for me personally, that was the reason why I passed. So I'm pretty sure it'll be the same reason for a lot of your students.
I think everyone has a story like that when it comes to the bar exam. I personally have a story like that where I froze and I was just, I couldn't type. My hands were shaking. I was shaking so bad. I thought the person behind me is going to think I'm having a seizure or something and they're going to call 911. But it was just, it's such a high stress and performance-based test exam that you have to learn all these tools and you have to learn how to deal with the stress and anxiety so that you don't freeze and you do keep typing. So it is definitely, mindset is a big, big part of it.
I agree.
Definitely. So one thing that I ask people who come on the show is I ask them about this formula or this law of happiness. And the reason why I ask this, and this can change for you, by tomorrow, but the reason why I ask this is because I know that studying and going through, becoming a professional at anything, at the end of the day, what we're seeking, what we all want is to be happy, right? And success without happiness is meaningless. And so that's why I like asking everyone who comes on the show what's their formula for happiness. What is the law of happiness according to you, according to Sam?
According to me, yes, I think everybody has their own definition. That's for sure. My definition of happiness is starting off my morning right. That's having a daily morning routine. It's something that I didn't do 2 years ago. It's something that I learned about, something that I slowly added into my schedule, something that I'm adding to, it's a routine, but it's something that I'm always fine tuning and doing better. And I think it's really invaluable because I believe in how you start your day kind of sets the tone for the rest of the day. If you start off happy, then guess what? It's going to lead to more happiness. So have a very, very specific routine. These are all things that you could kind of it's like a jigsaw puzzle. You could take out things that work for you and, add things that don't. For me, personally, it's praying first. Second is verbalizing 3 things that I'm thankful of. And that's very important to verbalize it. Third is doing affirmations. Affirmations are pretty much, actually have them right here. These are all thoughts and ideas, not ideas, but pretty much things that you want.
Right.
Phrases
Yeah.
that you want to engrave in yourself. And the important thing about affirmations is you don't want to say it as like, I want to be successful. You just say as I am successful. You want to be a little bit more specific than being successful, but let's just say like, let's just take one thing here is I let go of things that I don't control or change. And I just say this 3 times. I repeat each one. I have about 15 of them. Honestly, I think it's probably very, very powerful. I've definitely seen an effect from it.
This is something that I give to my students. It's an affirmation, it's a 10-minute affirmation part of the program is to give them these affirmations. They make their own affirmations. So I know they're very powerful.
Amazing. That's amazing. It definitely works. That's for sure. After that, I like to learn. I try to read from 3 different books. Doesn't matter how much I read, as long as I know I learned something, even if it's just one idea. And then I meditate. I use an app called Calm. Actually, I recommended this app a couple of years ago to my friends, and it just 2017 became Apple's app of the year. It's a very amazing app. It's basically it's guided meditations. It basically, you put on your headphones and it guides you through meditation. And then after I meditate for 10 minutes, I visualize. Visualization takes 1 minute. You basically close your eyes, or you can even have your eyes on, and you just try to visualize your perfect day. What is a perfect day? And when you try to figure out what your perfect day is, you kind of want to just figure out one thing you want to accomplish. Just one is enough. The most important thing that you want to accomplish for that day. Just visualize you going through the motions of you actually doing that task and doing it to completion. And then I get up and I review my goals. I have my goals written up here, right there. Basically just read through them, know exactly what I have to do for that day. And then I start my day. This entire thing takes only 45 minutes. And at this point, I'm very habitual. I just do it. And if I don't do it, the days that I don't do it, I just feel off. But yeah, I think really important to how you start off your day. It really matters.
And all the stuff that you're saying, they're not just, they're based on scientific research, especially in the last 10 years, where we're able to scan the brain and see how the brain is actually functioning by visualizing the things that we want. So our brain has amazing abilities to help us achieve our goals once we're committed to them in a clear and precise way. So that's the one thing that you said, and it made sense to me a lot, is visualizing one thing and visualizing it very specifically. I think that just gives your brain a blueprint to work with, and it just collects all the data that it needs to bring about that image to reality. So all the steps that you mentioned are very effective, and they're based on scientific research. So it's how our brain works and how it helps us stay happy and productive and all of that good stuff. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Sure, definitely.
Thank you. So if people want to contact you, I'm going to include your contact information in the comments below, but if you can also tell them how to contact you, the best way to contact you. I know you said you get a bunch of emails every day, so what is the best way for them to reach you?
I do respond to everybody's email, that's for sure. I'm very open to sharing information with people. I love helping people. So I'm very open to, if you're ever confused about anything, if it's typically, the thing that I like helping the most is helping people start their law firms, virtual law firms. It's something that I've been through myself. It's something that I understand really well. So if it's something about that or anything general, just feel free to just send me an email. Layla, it's sam@mollailaw.com. I'm sure Layla is going to have my email somewhere. Feel free to email me. I'll be happy to talk.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I hope to have you on the show again, and take care and best of luck to you.
Thanks, Layla.